Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome to episode 94 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. What a week it's been again.
Yeah, decent week, I'd say. Yeah, I felt my excitement level wasn't quite as high. We didn't match then. You said
Well, we weren't on the pitch for a start.
No, but I meant you just sounded really excited, and I was like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Well, you know me.
No, it's been another good week. I think it's after Forest Green. It was always going to be a little bit of a
lull.
A little bit, I think. But I think they've maintained a decent level, which I'm not sure I wasn't sure they were going to be honest. I didn't even know what team they were going to put out. I think I heard Phil saying they sort of owe it to the fans to just keep that consistent level, and you want to roll it into next season as well, don't you? So yes. But I wasn't 100% sure we weren't going to see maybe not 11 changes, but there was one, and I just wasn't sure there wasn't going to be 3, 4, 5 changes. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, if I'm perfectly honest, but yeah, like we say, another good week.
Yeah.
A few things to talk about before we get into that. The Crewe game. I want to talk about the FA Cup first and foremost. Quite a controversial week with regards to the FA Cup. So the FA and the Premier League have got together, and I think there's been some consultation with the EFL as maybe a couple of people, as opposed to every single club. But certainly not with the other clubs, the other 72 clubs that are in the EFL. Certainly no consultation with the National League either. Basically, what is now happening is they're scrapping replays in the FA Cup. Now, a few points to make about this. A few people might not understand what the big deal is about scrapping replays in the FA Cup.
I actually do.
What? Understand
the big deal.
Yeah. Some people will think probably it's about time that we did something like this.
Isn't this the only competition that has replays?
It's one of the only competitions in Europe that has replays, to be honest. A lot of countries have moved away from replays to try and reduce down the amount of games that players are playing during the season. That's their reason behind doing it in other countries. We are one of the last to still have replays in a cup competition. We obviously don't have them in the League Cup, so the EFL trophy. We don't have them in the League Cup either. Yeah. It's just the FA Cup. Now, there's a few issues with this. One is, this is how it's been for years. And this is how everybody knows the FA Cup.
Yeah.
The other problem is that so if you're a lower league team, League One, League Two, National League, or lower, you all get entered into the FA Cup. Yeah, you apply and you get entered into the FA Cup. And if you draw a big team, for example, so say you are a National League team and you draw, or a League Two team, and you draw a big team like Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Newcastle, all of them big teams.
Yeah.
And you playing them at home. Yeah. You play them at home. If you draw that game, you get a replay, which is away at that team's ground. It's a big stadium. It's something that a lot of players may never get the opportunity to do. So that's one of the reasons. It is it's money. So in the FA Cup, all ticket receipts, so like ticket sales are shared between the two clubs. So if you go and play a club that's got a 45,000, 50,000 capacity and they fill most of that, you're going to get half the ticket sales from that, which is, for very small clubs, that is massive. That's huge. And so you're taking that away from clubs.
Yep.
Not so much that. Well, that's a very big part of it, don't get me wrong. But for me, what you're taking away is you're taking away the experience for players, fans, to go to these big grounds. When you're playing in National League North and you're playing teams like Chester, who've got horrible little grounds on a weekly, week in, week out. I could have picked another National League North team, decided on that one. And, the opportunity to go and play at a Premier League ground is huge.
Yeah.
Look.
I mean, it was for us when we went to Sheffield and Coventry. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And the Sheffield, for Wrexham fans, the Sheffield United experience as a whole, we got a draw at home and we got to go away to Sheffield United, who were a high-flying Championship club at the time, now in the Premier League, not doing so well. We got that opportunity off the back of a replay.
Yeah.
So you're taking all of that away. The reason they're taking that away is that player welfare. So the Premier League are saying they're playing too many games. I mean,
there is an argument about that, isn't there?
Well, you've got Championship, League One, League Two, National League, all playing more games than, So it's not just the Premier League, it's the big six. It's the ones that are in Europe that are playing games in the Champions League or the Europa League and the FA Cup and the League Cup and all that other stuff. They're the ones that are complaining about it, mainly, which is why this change has come about. So the biggest problem with this is that you have potentially 6 clubs deciding what is happening in the competition, which has hundreds of clubs in.
And it affects hundreds of clubs.
Yeah, exactly. But the decision's been made without consultation. So, sorry, this is very long-winded, but it is very important. So a lot of clubs came out. I think Tranmere were one of the first to condemn the changes in the FA Cup. And it's saying they weren't happy. This is the nostalgia of the cup, the magic of the FA Cup, all of that, and you're taking that away by taking away replays.
All because the Premier League players are tired.
Ultimately, if they're so tired, maybe don't force them into playing 4 or 5 or 6 games in Asia or America or on pre-season tours, whatever. If you're that bothered, maybe cut that out and cut out your PR and your revenue comes from that. Anyway, Tranmere were one of the first to come out. Lots of clubs have followed suit. Where this affects us is we are one of the clubs, and there's not many who haven't come out to condemn the decision. And there are a lot of fans at the moment who are quite confused why we haven't, annoyed why we haven't. And they would like the club to make a statement saying we don't believe this is the right decision.
But maybe they do think it's the right decision.
Bear in mind, as of we're recording this on Sunday at about 2 p.m. As of Sunday 2 p.m, Wrexham have not made a statement.
I don't think they're going to make a statement on a Sunday anyway.
No, but this comes out 6 p.m. on a Monday, perhaps they have made a statement. All this is null and void. But that's what. So what's your take on this whole situation?
Again, I probably disagree with it because, like you're saying, it's the top teams that are earning a lot of money and you have got a lot of money. I know that we've got a bit of money.
Yeah.
I mean, the club, not us. But it's like it feels like a when you're in a company and like the top dogs are making the decisions and the minions down below have just got to just accept it.
Yeah.
I think that kind of gives me it's that sort of feel where the Premier League are all like, yeah, we're so fed up of replays. You know, we're so tired playing all these extra games.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, they're going on tours, pre-season tours to like the other side of the world, playing 4 or 5 games, coming back, and then starting the season. Well, isn't that affecting welfare of the players?
Yeah, so if you cut that out, you could play replays, couldn't you, technically? But you've also got the fixture congestion issue, which is another one, which...
Yeah.
But you've got teams like, I noticed a few clubs, I think Gateshead have played loads of games in a short period of time. Truro were another one. They kept getting their games called off, and I think they played 8 games in 20 days. You know, but then you got the Premier League banging on about fixture congestion. You know, it's... You know, there are numerous sides to the argument. I'm not a fan of scrapping replays.
I just think there's an alternative rather than, like you said, taking them, you know, for a lot of people who are like in the National League or National League North, National League South, even League One teams, League Two teams, sorry, going into these big clubs that they won't necessarily get to go to.
Look, don't get me wrong. You could get drawn away at one of these big clubs anyway, and it wouldn't matter. And in the last, I believe, 8 years, only on 5 occasions in the last 8 years has a team from League One or below taken a top team to a replay, which has resulted in them then going to play at their ground. That's not many. But it happens, you know, when people were actually sort of, you know, putting this stat together, they didn't take into account people like us who took Sheffield United to a replay because they're not classed as a top team. They were a championship team at the time.
Definitely not now.
There's loads of scenarios here, and I'm quite confused about why the club haven't. We've got a huge voice at the moment. You know, everybody... The eyes are on us, and I get that maybe you have to be a little bit careful about what you say in a situation where a lot of eyes are on you. But I think sometimes, you know, when you've got the voice, you've just got to use it sometimes. You just got to be brave and stand up and stand with everybody else sort of shoulder to shoulder. Because saying nothing is still saying something. That's what they have to remember. Saying nothing doesn't mean that we're on the fence, we're not saying one thing or another. It's sort of when you've got so many clubs coming out against it, by saying nothing,
you're sort of agreeing
you are
with it.
saying something. You're sort of saying we agree with it and we're not happy with it.
But maybe we do. Maybe the club does.
Maybe that is the case.
Either way, I think a statement does need to be given. But like you said, it may be given out before this.
It may be. Look, we'll move on. I just wanted to cover that because I thought it was quite important.
Yeah. So the EFL awards were last Sunday. We got some confusion.
Have we?
Well, because we thought, I thought they were months away, but they were actually the day that we recorded last Sunday. So they were on Sunday, what day was it? Sunday the 14th? Yes, Sunday the 14th. And Elliot Lee and Arthur Okonkwo were named in the EFL League 2 Team of the Season. Arthur Okonkwo was there. Looking very dapper in his tuxedo, but Elliot Lee was getting hammered in the football in Wrexham. So he wasn't there at the time, but massive congratulations, well deserved. That was a nice thing.
Yeah, it was. Look, I think people are always going to be... There's been a few things on social media. A few people were like, well, why wasn't it this guy? Why wasn't it that guy? I think Stockport fans were a bit angry it wasn't their keeper.
Did they only have one person in
I think so. They'd gone and won the league and they only had one player in it and blah, blah, blah. Look, it is what it is. You know, and Stockport...
Can I just say, Jodie Jones won Player of the Season... And they're not exactly high in the table. It just very much depends on player by player, I think.
Yeah, it does. Look, it's not about the team. It's in this instance, it's about the individual performance. You know, Jodie Jones has got like 24 assists this season, which is ridiculous. That's why he won it.
Yeah.
And the other point about the goalkeeper thing, you know, let's say I went to play in goal for somebody, right? And we had the best team in the UK, right? And I went in goal at 42, having not really ever played in goal before. And I kept, in 40 games, I kept 37 clean sheets and only conceded 10 goals. That doesn't make me the best goalkeeper in the league. That just means my defence were really good, my midfield are really good, and the team in front of me stopped the opposition getting to me. So just because you keep more clean sheets and you don't concede as many goals doesn't make you a better goalkeeper than somebody else.
No.
So,
and Arthur Okonkwo is the best.
He is. Look, we have sort of flirted with this next thing a little bit, but EFL have signed a deal with Sky. So if you're outside of the UK, you might not know what Sky is. It's a broadcaster. It's a subscription broadcaster, I suppose you'd call it. Quite a big one. They cover all the Premier League games in the UK. And basically, the EFL signed a deal with Sky. So domestically, iFollow will cease to exist in the UK. It won't cease to exist for international fans, in case anybody's panicking. So in the UK, Sky will be showing on every weekend. There will be 5 championship games on Sky, and there will also be 5 games across League One and League Two. Okay. Now, the knock-on effect of that means we have a 3 p.m. blackout in this country.
Yep.
So the knock-on effect of that is that if you are selected for TV on that weekend, that means your game will either be on a Friday, 12:30 on a Saturday, 5:30 on a Saturday, or at some point on a Sunday. That's the way it is, because as far as we're aware, the media blackout will continue in the UK. So there will be potentially some moving about of fixtures during the season, which I'm not a massive fan of, but it is what it is. So
we kind of thought this was going to happen, though.
Yeah.
Surely, because they can't all have the games on a Tuesday and a Saturday if they're going to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I just cracked my knuckle then. Sorry.
Lovely.
So as you said, games will continue for international fans, which I've seen quite a few tweets and things over the past week since this was announced, that they're going, oh, well, what happens to iFollow for us in in America and stuff like that. But that's going to be
That'll
fine.
carry on. Don't panic.
So Paul Mullen's goal against Grimsby was nominated for League Two Goal of the Month, and it won.
Did he? I didn't think they'd announced it yet.
Well, he had an award for something.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh. Shan with her fake news.
Do you know what? You carry on. I'm just going to, because I've got a picture of it actually. So
yeah. Pretty sure, because I only voted for it an hour ago. So.
Oh, did ya?
Pretty sure he hasn't won that one.
He's won something this week.
Maybe he has. Look, next week, just to tell you, obviously the season's coming to a close. Just to tell you a few things that we've got coming up over the next few weeks. We're going to do the Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC Awards. So we'll be discussing best player, all that sort of favourite goal, all that sort of stuff. And we'll be doing that over the coming weeks.
Yep.
Might spread it over a couple of weeks, might do it all in one. A little bit unsure at the moment, but there we go. Next week will be a end of season review as well. So we'll look through the whole season. That episode might be a little bit longer than normal as we break down little things. A lot of work to go into that one. Yeah.
Better get cracking then.
Yeah, I better add. And we will also be starting to look ahead at the teams that we are going to be facing in League One.
Yeah.
All the stuff, there'll be stuff in there for everybody. So the sort of local fans, few facts about the clubs that we're going to be facing, some stuff for the international fans. I know you like to know where they are in the country, how far they are away, all that sort of stuff. A little bit of a stats package about them as well, and all that sort of thing. So that's coming up. One last thing to mention is we had an interview this week.
Which
was lovely on BBC Radio Foyle, which is in Northern Ireland. They got in touch with us to have a little chat about James McClean, because James McClean. So BBC Radio Foyle is based in Derry. James McClean is from Derry. So they were talking about him and they were talking about the Wrexham team and all that sort of thing. And they invited us on to have a little chat. Very
With
fun.
Elaine McGee, yes.
Yeah, it was fun, wasn't it?
It was.
I did enjoy it.
It was weird because obviously me and Ryan worked together. And we were in separate rooms. And I think even though we were in separate rooms, you'd think that the like, I don't know what it's called, lag or whatever, would be the same. But there's a bit in it where she asks a question. She doesn't specify who to ask the question. And all you can hear is me going, eh. And it's like, oh my God. But it's a good interview.
If you want to listen to it, it's on our YouTube channel. So if you go onto our videos, you'll notice it because it's got a different thumbnail to the other ones, which are just the weekly podcast. So have a listen to that. It's only 5 minutes long. Knock yourself out. Have a go at that.
And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed.
Yes, please do. Thank you. Let's talk about Crewe, shall we?
Yep.
As you rightly said, Sian, one change.
Yep, I got 10 out of 11 for my predicted lineup.
I'm not doing that at the moment.
We're just boring.
No,
because Ryan doesn't get anything out of it, he won't do it. No. I do it for the fun.
Look, we do it on FanHub, right? And FanHub, when you get it right, or you get X amount right, it's supposed to give you points, and you build your points up, and you can buy stuff with it.
I think you're doing it wrong because I've had points today for getting my 11.
Have you?
Yep. I've had another poacher point. I've had another...
Points, actual points.
I've had 200 points.
Yeah, you get 200 points anyway.
No, that's out of a mystery pack.
Yeah, you get that anyway.
Oh, I didn't get anything.
So anyway, look, I'm not happy with it. There we go. Look, one change. Luke Young came in, captained the team.
Yeah.
The only change, as we said, I was quite surprised that we only had one change.
Well, I wasn't because I predicted.
Yeah. I thought there'd be more changes than that, if I'm honest. But it was quite hard to judge what they were going to do.
But like you said, Parky must have thought, these fans are coming away. They've given us so much support this season, like we do every season. But, give them what they want.
Give them what they want.
And George Evans, I believe, is possibly injured.
I think you said to me.
He had a twinge.
He had a twinge.
I'm sure he had a twinge.
Maybe.
You're right there.
I'm sorry. Do you...
I hate this question.
Do you think it sort of feels like Luke Young's sort of like lap of honour sort of thing? Like a wave to the fans?
Well, I don't know because McFadzean came on.
He didn't start though, did he? That was on the back of something. Luke started. Luke captained the team.
I don't know. Maybe he came in because George Evans was... Maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. I don't like to think about it. I'm not stupid enough to think that there's not going to be any changes in the team this season, with transfers and what have you, because obviously we're going into League One. But it just makes me sad because I've liked Luke from the beginning. I just think his work ethic and everything. I mean, he's still the captain at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see who, if Luke does sadly go, who the captain will be. Will it be Paul Mullen? What are your thoughts on it, on the lap of honour?
I feel like this is his swan song a little bit.
I might cry at the Stockport game.
I sort of feel like I'd said to a couple of people, I've got a funny feeling Luke's going to start at Crewe and he's going to start at Stockport. And I sort of feel like that's his goodbye. And I thought he'd be captain. Who would be captain if he left? Well, obviously, if Luke doesn't play, it's Ben. But Ben's not playing anymore. And Ben's coming to the end of his contract as well. You said Paul. I'm not a massive fan of strikers being captains, if I'm perfectly honest.
I think Elliot Lee might be a good call.
No, I think... No, for me...
James McClean.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody who sits at the back for me. So I think... Look, James McClean's out on the left a little bit. I'm old-fashioned, so for me, it's a central defender or a central defensive midfielder.
Oh, Andy Cannon.
No, I wouldn't say so.
I'm just naming all the people I like.
I know. I think for me, it's like an Owen O'Connell.
Yeah.
That's your sort of, for me, that's a captain who's sitting in the middle. He can see right, he can see left, he can see everything in front of him.
He's quite vocal.
And he directs the troops based on what he can see in front of him.
Yep.
That, to me, that's where a captain sits, and that's always been. You know, if you look, Ben Tozer sat in the middle, could see everything, captain. Luke Young, sort of more of a defensive midfielder, sits in the middle, can see everything. That to me is what a captain should be. And where a captain should sit.
Well, technically, it should be the goalkeeper, really, because he can see everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a big fan of that either, as well, because they're too detached from play a lot of the time. You see.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I don't know. For me, it would be someone like Owen O'Connell. That you know, in that position, it could see everything. I think he's probably got the leadership qualities needed to be a captain. But without seeing behind the scenes, you genuinely don't know. Parky will know who he'd want to pick. The problem with picking someone like James McClean is...
He's too vocal.
No, not that he's too vocal. The problem with it is, for me, is what do you want? Do you want a captain that is potentially going to give you another 4 or 5 years of his career? Or are you going to give it to somebody who is very experienced and can be very vocal, but might only give you another 1? And then after that 1, you're going to have to change it again.
The point, like, if Luke Young goes and Ben Tozer, then you've got the job of finding a captain and a club captain, because obviously Ben Tozer's a club captain.
I'm not a massive fan of that either, to be honest. Yeah. Teams do this, though. You have a captain and a club captain. Get a grip. Captain. End of. Your captain is your captain. And
what does a club captain do, anyway?
Sits on the bench most of the time. It's what tends to happen. I tell you what, right? Newcastle, another prime example. They've got a captain and a club captain.
Yeah.
Right? The reason they've done that is that Jamal Lascelles was the captain, played week in, week out. And then he got injured and he went out the team. And then they got better centre-backs than Jamal Lascelles. So what they did is they went, can't just strip him of the captaincy and give it to someone else. So they ended up with a captain and a club captain. And one of them was the one that sat on the bench all the time, and the other one was... And it's a similar thing that happened at Wrexham.
Yeah.
Luke Young dropped out the team, so instead of stripping him of the captaincy and giving it to someone who was playing week in, week out, they went, I tell you what, we'll have a captain and a club captain. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm, again, not a massive fan. Just pick your captain and get on with it.
Yeah, we digress.
We do digress. Yeah. Where are we?
The game was quite balanced for 25 minutes.
It was quite balanced. It was. I felt it was quite balanced for 25 minutes. Thank you, Sian, for catching me up with my notes. Yeah, and then Ollie popped up, didn't he?
Yeah.
Popped up, popped down. He stooped. Stooped to head in.
He did.
First goal since he scored in the FA Cup against Yeovil on, what's the date? 3rd of December. First goal since then. First league goal since we won 2-0 against Gillingham on the 11th of November. It's a long time, that, isn't it? I liked his celebration, to be honest.
About time.
About time.
Yeah.
Tapping his wrist. It was quite good. I'm glad Ollie got it. I think sometimes Ollie might come in for...
other reasons.
No, I wasn't going to say that. He might come in for a bit of a sort of abuse or negative comments.
Because he hasn't scored for so long.
Because he's not scoring.
And he's a striker.
Yeah, but I think Ollie is so much more than that now.
Just said that.
Because he... Oh, dear. I just think his game's evolved. And I don't know if you've listened to his interview after the game. Have you seen it?
Not yet, no.
So he was very much... his priorities have changed recently. Where he's very much...
a team player.
I'm trying to be nice about him here, and I am going to say some very positive things. But there's one thing.
There's one negative.
Ollie comes across as quite a me person, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In the sense of, you know, not selfish or self-centered, but it's very much about. I don't know how to say it in a polite way.
A narcissist.
Maybe a touch. Yeah, I think he maybe comes across a little bit like that. But to hear him do that interview was really nice, because he was like, look, my priorities have changed. The way that I play, it's all about the team. And I was like, I like this, Ollie, because, you know, I think over the last couple of months, I think he's been invaluable.
He has.
And people will completely disagree with that. But
I agree.
I know you agree, but so many people will go, no, I completely disagree with that. He is such a handful for defenders. We've got players who can score goals for us. We've got a striker who can score 25 plus goals for us. We've got a cam, or like sitting in the number 10 position in Elliot Lee, who's scoring 15 plus goals for us.
Number 10 position?
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's like the number 10. The number 10 is sort of like it drifts in between the midfield and the strikers sort of thing, really. I know Mullins
that
10.
That confused me a bit.
Yeah, sorry, that just shows my age. Yeah. That does a little bit.
I'm the same age as you, but whatever.
No, I'm a footballing age, I think,
right,
is what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've got... So, Ollie doesn't need to be chipping in with 15, 20 goals. Look, I'd love it if he did, but he does so much more than that now.
He just needs to be the monster on the pitch.
He is, and he look, if you watch players who've been marking Ollie for an hour, they look spent. They do, they look shattered, and I think he's a big reason why we've been very dominant in the last half an hour of games, because I think he tires people out so much. And for me, can he still do a job in League One? That's the question, I suppose.
I think he can. He's not as fast as he was, like when we first bought him into the club. But I think he's definitely got something to offer. Definitely, like I said, he's not as fast, but he's really good. At bringing down other players.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, I think because obviously League One, you are going to have bigger players. Taller.
Not necessarily.
Well,
don't get taller the higher up the leagues you go. It's not how it works, but...
Well, yeah, Jack Grealish, he's not exactly tall, is he?
Phil Foden, if you're talking about anyone.
Okay. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I definitely think, but even though he's not as fast as he was, and I'm sure he would agree with that, he's 30-something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do definitely think he's got something to offer the team in League One.
I do. I'd love to hear everyone else's comments about Ollie. So if you want to comment down below, please do, because I'm sure there will be a very dividing opinion about Ollie.
Definitely.
If I'm completely honest, people will agree with me, and people will completely disagree with me about Ollie. So yeah, let us know what you think. The place where I think Ollie might fall down is if you can get a player that bullies defenders in the way he does and occupies defenders in the way he does, but also scores 15 goals a season, then that's the point where you go, okay, maybe we don't need him anymore. We need this person who can do what Ollie does, but also gets 15 goals on top of that as well. Yeah. That's the scenario where I think, maybe we move away from Ollie. At the moment, I'm more than happy with him, and I think I am though, and I think he's done a fantastic job for us. I think as a player, he has definitely changed from National League to League Two, and he's not getting as many goals, and but that's fine, because like I say, we've got other players who are going to do that for us. Yeah. So. Yeah, definitely. Where were we? No. One thing I was going to talk about with him as well was I find it crazy, and I've talked about it before on the show, about football's such a confidence game. Ollie hasn't scored for ages. You don't really see Ollie shooting that much, I don't think, really, when I'm thinking back.
Because his priorities have changed.
Yes, they have. But then he scores a goal, first time in a few months, and then he tries to smash one over the keeper from 30 yards out. And it was just like, and I think even Mark said on the commentary, he went, it's crazy what confidence it does for you. And it just changes. But anyway.
So let's talk about the McClean Rowe incident that happened first half, second half? Can't remember now.
First half.
Yes, it was first half.
I know it was. Yes. Don't wag your finger at me.
So yeah, this was quite an interesting incident, and I mean, I would never try and foul James McClean, especially a really late one.
Yeah, it was really late.
Late tackle.
It was.
Wasn't even a tackle, was it? It was just like a.
I don't know. It was
weird.
It was a strange one. Look, the ball went. The ball was out on the touchline. James had passed it inside. The lad come in. It was really late. He caught him. They were on the ground. They got up, and then Jimmy decided. I think what Jimmy decided in his head was, "I'm going to headbutt you."
I'm going to kill you.
That's what he decided at that moment. I'm going to headbutt you right now.
Again, the Irish
passion. And then he went in, hugged him, and just pressed his face up against him and sort of bent him backwards with his face. Is basically what he did. Forehead, face, whatever you want to call it. And obviously, ref got involved, all that sort of thing.
Linesman got involved.
Everyone, one of their players came storming in from nowhere. He got a booking. They both got bookings in the end. I'm not sure what they both got bookings for. I think. Well, I know what James McClean got the booking for, but what I mean is I don't know what Rowe got a booking for. I'm assuming it was the tackle and not whatever happened afterwards, because he didn't. I don't think he massively did much. I think he sort of went, "Oh my god,
this is where I die."
So, red card. Look, Rowe was late. I don't think it was a red, but I've struggled to find replays of it, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say I'm wrong. I think it was probably a yellow, okay? Let's put that to one side, forget that. McClean, red, no red? Forget that you like him.
Okay. Possibly a red. Sorry, James.
Possibly.
Only for the fact that for intimidation purposes, I suppose.
It was overly aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
I think the rule is it does state about being overly aggressive. I think putting your forehead against somebody's face
might be construed as
bending them over backwards like that. I think you could argue that was overly aggressive.
Yeah.
So look, I thought he was going to send him off. At that moment, I genuinely thought he was going to send him off.
Yeah.
He didn't. And then we had this.
Parky did.
We had this little conversation, didn't we? About at half time.
Yeah.
Are they going to take him off? Are they not going to take him off? I said, no, just let it go. Let's see what happens, because the funniest part of the whole situation is James McClean's been playing for years. And
he's taken some steps.
He knows how to play the game, and he knows how to, because what he was doing, he went up to the lad who'd fouled him and he was pulling at his shirt, looking what his number was, as if to go, right, I've got your number, just make sure which one you are. And then he got his number, which I thought was hilarious.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? They both got yellow cards for argument.
Okay, that's what it says on SofaScore, though. That might not be what it says in the ref's report. So yeah. And so I like all that. I like the fact that he was sort of intimidating him by looking what his number was, so he didn't forget which one he was, so he could go after him again in a bit. So yeah, I like that. I love it.
I like James McClean.
Do you know what I would love to be able to say? What? I'd love to be able to look down the camera and go, me and Jimmy are best mates. Me and Jimmy Mack are best mates. I'd love to be able to do that. Unfortunately, that's just reserved for Andy. But never mind.
I love that.
Yeah,
he did it again yesterday. Obviously, he did it at the game against Forest Green at the racecourse, saying me and Jimmy Mack are best mates. And then someone shoved a camera in his hand, and he just did it again yesterday on Saturday.
Is this on?
It's on.
What do I do with it?
Yeah, I love that. Just them two together are just.
I think James being at the club has definitely improved. I think because he's such a professional in everything he does, James McClean. I think it has definitely helped players like Andy Cannon a lot. Even though the age difference isn't huge, I definitely think it's someone that he obviously looks up to.
Football experience, isn't it?
Huge. I think it's been huge. Straight after that, Mullin scored.
He did.
Straight from that free kick, literally long ball forward. Ollie flicked it on. Lovely finish by Paul.
I read before the Mullen goal, well, actually, it was just the happening, but the commentators for the Crewe side, they were saying that they were like all Hollywood Disney actors or something, Wrexham team. And he said something else, but then literally as he was finishing his sentence, Mullen scored, and it was like, that's karma for you, mate.
I love the celebration as well.
Yeah.
More celebrating in front of fans.
James McClean.
James McClean going, oh! Yeah, love it. Hand over the mouth, all that. Andy had a little celebration. Barney had a little dig as well while they were all there. Love it. If everyone hates us, we might as well just make them hate us more.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, McClean came off for half time. I was massively disappointed in that because I thought we could have seen some fireworks in the second half.
Someone actually said that. Do you know who said it? That I can't remember who said it, but we were doing our half-term review, and somebody said he reckons that McClean will get subbed before the second half, and we were like, no. And we started watching it again. He was like, oh, McClean's not there. So yeah, you were right.
Fads came on. He did all right, to be fair to him.
Yeah,
I thought he played quite well.
Yeah, he made a few mistakes.
He went to play. He played at Crewe as well. So I thought I bet he was getting a bit of abuse on the side. But second half, look, Lee had a shot from the edge of the box, went well saved by the keeper.
Yeah.
The Crewe manager. He said at the end of the game, it just reminded me now, because we came back out, we were back on the front foot again. We had a couple of shots, like that Lee one that was well saved. The manager said, I felt we were the better team, didn't he?
I was going to comment on that. Because somebody shared it and I was going to say, were you watching a different game?
What game was he watching?
I think he was watching Man City or somebody play.
At what point were they the better team?
They were awful.
I was just like, what?
No, we were, and it made me laugh because everyone was going, we were the better team and we weren't even in second gear.
Yeah.
And the lads were still steaming from the Saturday before.
Yeah. I know. Anyway.
They obviously weren't.
Yeah. We talked about possible red card and then we got an actual red card, didn't we? So what is your understanding, view, everything of that incident? How did you view that?
A professional handball.
It was. So were you happy that it was a red card?
Yeah.
Were you?
If it was one of ours, no. But because it was Crewe, I was quite happy. I thought, oh, here we go. They're going to be down to 10 men. If they lose, they're going to use that as an excuse. They're going to say that we've paid off the ref and all this crap that people say about Wrexham.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was a handball. And you're going to say you disagree. I
just thought it was really harsh. I think
it probably was really harsh, but who cares?
It was. And look, I don't agree. The thing he was going on about was he got pushed. Yeah. I don't think he did get pushed. He got nudged.
His arm was in like the air in an unnatural position.
He got nudged, not in the back, here. That's challenging for the ball. Sorry, mate, you got to be stronger than that. You can't just let somebody.
You're not Mullen.
Have you seen Mullen? He's tiny. So to get pushed off the ball like that, I'm sorry, that isn't an argument that you can make.
Yeah.
That is. But just the fact that he was so far away from goal. I know it was sort of dropping towards that way, but just, I don't know, it just felt harsh to me.
Wasn't his arm in like an unnatural position?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's an instant red card, does it? Well, remember the Doncaster game? We took a throw in and the lad reached up and just grabbed it.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
He didn't get a red card.
I think
it's coupled with the fact that it's a clear goal scoring opportunity. Right,
yeah.
So the ball was going through. I'm sorry, but it was on the halfway line, on the touch line.
Yeah, even Mullen, could try, but he might not.
I mean, I just felt it was harsh, but it just sort of killed the game. That did really, didn't it? Kind of made it 3. Lovely finish, nice and composed. It's just a superstar at the moment. And then we just took foot off the gas a little bit.
Let's just chill out.
We did really, and we didn't really. It could have been 4-5 maybe if we'd have carried on pressing, but we didn't. We just sort of we created.
We did enough to keep them from us conceding a goal.
Tom O'Connor nearly scored. Stephen Fletcher, lovely little volley. Keeper saved it well. We had a couple of chances, but we weren't pushing against 10 men to sort of make it 4 or 5 or anything like that. Predictions that we did were close.
Oh, so close.
So I went for 3-1.
And I went for 4-0.
And Sean went for 4-0. So at 3-0, we were both waiting for another goal. I was waiting for Crewe to score to get mine right, and Sean was waiting for us to score another. If I'm honest, I felt like yours was more likely than mine at that point. But as it turned out, neither of us got it right.
I'm sure there was a comment on our TikTok when we posted our predictions, and then somebody put just a laughing face. Not sure what they thought that Crewe were going to get more past us or what. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was closer.
Were you though? No.
No, not really.
Not really.
It was literally 50-50, wasn't it?
Look, it genuinely looked like they were enjoying it on Saturday as well. They were
still hammered.
Yeah, maybe.
So they were
maybe still drunk from the weekend before. You know, it was like shackles off, jobs done. They had smiles on their faces. They were enjoying it. At the end of the game, they were all beaming. They were all, all the fans were singing songs to them. They're giving their shirts away.
Do you know what? I'm gutted that we weren't there now.
Yeah, but did you see the people they were giving the shirts to? Yeah. I don't think they were giving their shirt to a 42-year-old woman.
Well,
41?
41, but somebody gave...
my wife's age wrong.
Somebody who was probably about my age did get one. Anyway, there was a thing that James McClean gave his shirt to this young lady.
Yeah.
And rightly so, people said, this is the James McClean that people just dismiss. They don't talk about this side of James McClean.
No, because it doesn't fit the agenda, does it? It's like with everything. Yeah.
You idiots.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, yeah. Look, I think for me, the one thing I was thinking when I was watching all this at the end of the game is the fact that money will only get you so far.
Of course it will.
In any sport. What you need a group of players who like each other, enjoy being together, enjoy playing together, that want to play for the manager, will run through walls for the manager, and just a really together group of people, which we've got.
We've definitely got, yeah.
We've got. And, if we just had that and no money, then you would sort of go, we give it a good go.
Yeah, but
with the money and that together,
we are gonna be flying.
I think so.
We're gonna be.
There's loads of clubs with money who just don't have what we've got at the moment, and they struggle. Do you know what I mean? They really struggle.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see. Crewe have now lost their last 3 home games, 3-0. 9 goals against, 0 scored. I know they're struggling with injuries, and they had some academy players in and all that sort of thing.
Talking of academy, hasn't James McClean's son just signed for the Crewe Academy?
He is in the Crewe Academy.
Which is very weird, but that's...
They've got an excellent academy at Crewe. They've produced lots of very good players. So, yeah. Mertland on our YouTube live did make me aware of a stat. He said that it's the first time Wrexham won 4 in a row all season, which I didn't believe. I had to check it. And it's right. It is true, which is very bizarre. And we've also, which I can't believe this is true either, we have the 3rd best away record in the league.
And it was awful a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
I know.
It was terrible.
So if you do a table for home and a table for away, the home games, we're top. The away games were 3rd. We were about 14th at one point.
It's mad that we're top, considering we're 3rd in the table. No, we're not. We're 2nd in the table, aren't we?
No, we're 3rd.
Oh, damn you, Mansfield.
So, other results. Mansfield won 2-1 to move back to 2nd. If you just waited 10 seconds, I told you. And push us down to 3rd. They join us in League One next season. They did
their celebrations yesterday, I believe.
Yes, yeah. MK Dons are guaranteed a playoff place. The reason I'm telling you this is somebody in the playoff places will be coming up with us to League One next season. So it's worthwhile keeping an eye on it.
A few people have said they've got a feeling that MK Dons are going to be the ones that come up with us.
Maybe. So they're guaranteed a playoff place. The 3 remaining places in the playoffs will be filled by either Crewe, Barrow, Crawley, Doncaster, Walsall or Bradford.
Few close places there that we could go to next season.
I fancy Doncaster, if I'm completely honest. Doncaster are flying. I think they've won 8. I think Doncaster have won 8 in a row. They came from 2 down to beat Barrow 3-2 on Saturday.
I wouldn't mind going back to their stadium.
No, it was all right, wasn't it?
So on Saturday, the 27th of April, I forgot what month we were in then, I was going to say January, we have got our last home game of the season, last game of the season, and I just think it's going to be, even though there's nothing to play for, I just think it's going to be an immense game.
Not just that, it's that 2 things. It's a last game in League Two. Not just last home game, not just last game of the season. Yeah. It's a last game in League Two as well. And for anybody, and you say there's nothing to play for. For anybody who thinks it doesn't mean anything,
yeah, it does.
It does mean something.
Revenge.
Yeah, it does. We have to. They beat us 5-0 earlier in the season, so. Yeah, this does mean something.
Yeah, so it's a 3 o'clock kickoff at the Stōk Cae Ras, and that means obviously it's only available on iFollow to international fans only because of the media blackout. Why are you interrupting me again?
Just double check on that, because it's the last day of the season. Sometimes they ease the media blackout for the EFL, so you might just want to keep an eye on that. That's all I'm saying. Well,
that's good. So the last league game was the 5-0 defeat in September, which Ryan just mentioned at Edgeley Park. One of our worst performances of this season.
I'd say so.
Yeah, we obviously weren't there. We couldn't get bloody tickets.
No, we capitulated completely, and I would say definitely one of our worst.
I think we weren't quite there, were we? But I think if we played...
Weren't quite there?
No.
It's like we'd stayed at home.
I think if we played them, like, later on in the season away, we would have smashed them. So so on Saturday it'll be obviously first against second.
No, first against third. It was first against second when I wrote it.
Well, it might be. You never know. Oh no, it won't be because we've got no more games. Oh, we're
first against third. It was going to be first against second until Mansfield bloody decided to win their game.
Damn you, Mansfield again.
Yeah.
So this is something that I'm very annoyed about, to be honest. But I suppose they deserve it. They've won the league. But the Guard of Honour situation, I apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, but if they'd won the league 7 weeks ago, I know that's not.
Yeah.
So every single game they would have got a Guard of Honour.
Correct.
I think that's pathetic. I mean, if it was us, I would win it.
It is. Do you know why they do it? It's a mark of respect to the team that have gone and won the league. So every team that they play.
Did we get a Guard of Honour at the Torquay game last year?
I think we did, yes. I'm pretty sure we did. So basically, what a Guard of Honour is, for anybody who doesn't know, the team that have won the league will remain in the tunnel. The other team come out and they line the sides of the tunnel, and as they're walking out, we just clap them.
But there's been a bit of some like talk on Twitter and stuff like that. People are going to stay in the pub until 3:05. You're going to stay in the concourse until the first whistle goes. Yeah, I mean, I will be there because I always go there to watch the lads warming up, but I'm not going to clap. That sounds really bad. I might clap a little.
Very petty.
Yeah, I might clap a little bit.
Very petty.
Yeah.
I won't be clapping because I won't be there until the game.
But but that's the thing, though. I mean, if it was the other way around, we'd expect them to do it. So yeah,
I couldn't care less.
I retract everything that I've just said.
Yeah.
And I'm
for the last hour?
Yeah. No, I'm going to clap.
Look, they beat Accrington 4-2 on Saturday. They won their last 8 in a row. They're top on 92 points. They've won 27, drawn 11, lost 7. Top scorers are Isaac Alafe on 20 and Paddy Madden on 17. I hate Paddy Madden, I got to be honest. I don't know what it is about him.
You don't hate him.
Just don't like him. Prediction.
Just bear with. I'm just going to go into my...
Just bear with, love.
Just bear with. Let me go to my predictione list.
Shall I give you mine?
I'm on it now. I'm gonna just throw it out there, and I'm just gonna say 4-0 again.
4-0.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0 Wrexham. Yeah.
So can I just say 2-0? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So obviously we didn't get our predictions right yesterday. I am currently on
4.
Yeah.
You're on 4, I'm on 1.
Yeah, so I think I've won the
yeah, probably.
And we didn't start right at the beginning either. So next season we will start at the beginning and we'll do some sort of trophy for me.
Let's try and get another one right. Look, quick shout out for Dragon Chat. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. That is for women. The other one is on Thursday at 7 p.m. and that's for men. Best thing for you to do is to follow Dragon Chat-Steve Lloyd on Twitter.
We've got some people who've got in touch.
Yes.
This was an email from Jen Lassiter. Just a quick note to say thanks for inviting old and new fans alike to enjoy Wrexham's story and fandom. I'm a brand new fan, never been a sports fan of anything. Closest would be following high school swim and water polo when our son played. I don't know a lot about football, but we watched Welcome to Wrexham and I just sort of couldn't let go of the town. I slowly began to follow the team during the season over the last few years, checking scores on game days and following the team on socials. Now I listen to you guys, Rob Ryan Red, The Final Whistle, and I just added the Wrexham Texans since I'm also from Texas. I especially enjoy your half-time and full-time updates on YouTube. Anyway, as a new fan, it's been fun to listen to you guys and learn more about how football works, and just got excited about the success of the team along with y'all. I don't know why I did that in an American accent. I do apologise. One day we hope to make it over there to experience a match in person. Congrats to the team on the promotion. Thanks again and up the town. Thank you so much for that.
Chris Wilms got in touch. Thank you both so much for your hard work this season. To watch your podcast grow over the past 2 years through all the dedication and hard work has been a true pleasure. Can't wait to experience League One with both of you. You two are the real Prince and Princess of Wales.
Yes, thank you. I wish we had their money.
Yeah.
Ian Strong, congratulations. I'm from Hawaii and wanted to hear the perspective of local supporters who are Wrexham fans. The amazing people of Wrexham have always been so supportive, and your faith and resilience has finally been rewarded. I'm happy to see the club's success in the last 2 years and hope the club continues to thrive and improve. I hope to one day have the honour of attending a game at the legendary racecourse ground.
Look, if you want to get in touch, please do so on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com. Quiz time!
Is this the last one of the... Oh, no.
No, it's not the last one. Are you ready?
No.
This is a game that I call higher, lower, or the same.
Okay.
Yeah?
Right.
I think you can probably guess what higher, lower, or the same is. Yes.
I think I can, yeah.
Paul Mullin scored his 24th goal of the season against Crewe. Okay. But do you know how many goals our other players have scored? There are 7 points available. Okay. You ready? Let's start with James McClean. How many goals has James McClean scored this season?
Lower.
No. I'm just asking. This is just a question to get us going. So you see if you can have a point for this. If you can tell me how many goals James McClean scored.
3.
It is 3.
Is it?
Correct. Could you keep your own score? Because I can't be bothered doing that as well as reading it out. Okay. James McClean has scored 3 goals.
I got a point for that, yeah.
You did. Are you ready?
Yeah.
James Jones.
Yeah.
Higher, lower, or the same?
Same.
The same?
Yeah.
Incorrect. He scored 4, so it's higher. Okay. James Jones, 4. On to Ollie Palmer. Higher, lower, or the same?
Lower.
It's incorrect. He's got 6 this season.
Crap.
So we're on Ollie Palmer, 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is Andy Cannon. Higher, lower, or the same?
The same.
Incorrect.
It's higher.
It's lower. He scored 5.
Well, at least I've got 1 point.
Okay. You're doing terrible.
I am.
Andy Cannon, 5 goals.
Yep.
We move on to Sam Dalby. Higher, lower, or the same?
Lower.
It is lower. He's only scored 1.
Boo-boo.
Sam Dalby, 1 goal.
Yeah.
On to the next one. Jacob Mendy. Is he higher, lower, or the same as Sam Dalby's 1?
The same. Higher.
You saw me shake my head then. I'm not sure I should give you that.
I didn't. I just quickly changed my mind. I'm having it.
Then. Yeah, it is higher. He scored 2. Okay, Jacob Mendy scored 2 goals. Okay. Jordan Davis. Higher, lower, or the same?
Lower.
Incorrect. It's the
same.
He scored.
I hate this game.
He scored 2. Jordan Davis scored 2. Okay, so we're on 2. The last one is Will Boyle. Higher, lower, or the same?
Lower.
Incorrect. It's higher. He scored 3.
Well, how many questions were there? 5?
There was 7 in total.
Oh, I got 3 out of 7. That's
3 out of 7.
That's pretty bad.
That is pretty poor. I'm not going to lie to you. That is pretty poor. But there we go.
It is.
So look.
Oh, before we go,
I wasn't going to go. I was saying something else.
Well, I just want to say quickly before I forget. This obviously comes out on Monday, the 22nd of April, and it happens to be James McClean's birthday today. So we just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday, and also a happy birthday to Tom O'Connor, whose birthday it was on the 21st, which was obviously yesterday.
Yeah, Jimmy's my best mate.
Jimmy's my best mate.
Look, we got lots of fun stuff coming up over the summer. Look, if there is, we know there's quite a few people coming to the Stockport game. Peter, you're coming over. We talked to Marcus Cranston the other day. He's coming over. And we're going to try and meet up.
I don't know if Jay's coming over again.
I don't know. Look, whoever's getting in touch, whoever's coming over for the Stockport game, please get in touch because we'd like to try and meet all of you. Mm-hmm. That would be great if we could. Dream. So please get in touch, however you want to. Social media, email us. You know the drill. Lots of fun stuff coming up over the Christmas. We've got an hour in. And I've made a mistake. We're going to have to cut there and go back to the beginning. Start again.
Yeah, right.
Look, we got loads of fun stuff,
this summer.
Coming up over the summer. But yeah, we'll catch up with you. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday for our halftime show and full-time show from the racecourse for the Stockport game. And if the podcast is your thing, we'll see you again next Monday. Bye.
Bye.